Welcome to the Love Your Story podcast. Let's talk about roadmaps. Ever wished you had a roadmap to help life go a little bit smoother? How many everyday situations do we just barge our way through? For most of us, I'm going to say almost all of them. We head to a family party only to have gotten in a fight with a sibling because we got caught up in a reactive situation. Or we go on a walk with a friend and feel frustrated that the conversation was so focused on negative things, on their bad relationship and being down in the dumps. We head into a client meeting and come out feeling like that could have gone a lot better and we should have gotten more accomplished. It's a simple question. How could this experience have gone better if I'd clarified ahead of time what I wanted out of this interaction? Today's episode is called What's My Intention? Determining your intended outcome situationally. This is so simple, but again, so powerful. Stay tuned because this tool changes everything. Stories are our lives in language. Welcome to the Love Your Story podcast. I'm Lori Lee, and I'm excited for our future together of telling stories, evaluating our own stories, and lifting ourselves and others to greater places because of our control over our stories. This podcast is about empowerment and giving you, the listener, ideas to work with in making your stories work for you. Story power serves you best when you know how to use it. This simple idea today is about checking in with yourself before you head into any situation to see what you really hope it holds for you. Setting a clear intention before entering into an interaction is a tool that shapes the dynamics of human interaction. Now, I don't want this to sound too complicated because it really is not. But what it does is it shapes your stress level. It shapes what you allow to bother you and what you let slide. It shapes what you talk about and what you don't talk about. It shapes what you focus on. It shapes how you bring your energy into the situation. So in summary, it provides a simple roadmap for you, for the interaction. It's guiding your thoughts, words, and actions. Okay, so what does this really look like? This approach, let's say proactive approach, fosters first clarity for you, and second, greater success in getting what you want from the situation. So what it looks like is that before you go into something, you get clear with yourself about what you want to get out of the interaction. And by doing this, you are much more likely to get what you want. Let me give you some examples. I'm taking my boys skiing. If I identify beforehand that my purpose with this outing is to build relationships with them, then I am clarifying with myself ahead of time that it's not about doing the hardest runs I can find. It's not about penny pinching by heading to the car at lunch to eat PB&Js. It's about relationship building. And all of these things, frankly, for me, it's going to be different for everybody, but just transparently, for me, when I go, I'm considering how much money am I spending. Skiing's not cheap and the food up there isn't cheap. And I like to ski really hard. And so I'm a pretty selfish skier, and generally I will leave people if they're not skiing at the same level I am and just go ski the runs I want. So all of these things are actually considerations for me. So I just take a minute. I'm planning a ski trip with my boys, and I stop, and it doesn't take a long time to do this kind of thing, but I stop and I just ask myself, it's just a moment. What is it that I really want out of this? And my answer is, I want to build relationships with my kids. So now that I know that, there's no struggle when I get out on the hill and I've decided I'm not going to go shooting off doing my own thing. I already know that it's about spending time with them and enjoying the runs that they want to do. Now, they're good skiers and they may want to do the same ones I do, but if not, I'm fine skiing where they want to ski. That's what I've decided. I can also choose to splurge on lunch because they're young men and they love a big juicy burger. And I've identified beforehand that it's not about the money, it's about the time with them. And we can sit around the table and talk and enjoy ski lodge burgers, right? So I've sorted out everything ahead of time before I've gone. And it hasn't taken a lot of time. It's just this question, what's my intention? So I go into a client meeting beforehand, instead of, there's always nerves or concerns, or am I going to get through everything, or, there's a lot to do here, or, am I going to overwhelm, that kind of thing. But when I stop beforehand and say, what's my intention with this meeting, I get clear on that. And that changes what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to approach it. So before a client meeting, I might identify with myself that despite a huge list of things that I need to cover with my client, that this meeting is all about helping them to understand the process involved in buying a new home so that they are clear on what to expect. It's about their concept and their understanding, not necessarily about me getting all the paperwork done. I don't need to overwhelm them with all the dotted I's and crossed T's, even though those things are in my mind, even though I'm uber aware of all the things it needs to contain. When I stop and pinpoint that what I really want from this specific meeting is for them to understand, then I can direct the meeting that way. I can stay on point. I cannot get discouraged when everything doesn't get done, when we run out of time, when, I don't have to force things. So again, this predetermination allows me to proceed smoothly and unemotionally because I've already processed it through the process of what I want to accomplish in this interaction and let all the other factors fall away for now. It's so powerful. The thing that I find that's most powerful about this for me is really that it takes the emotion out of it. The decisions have already been made. I'm clear on knowing what I want to get out of it, and I'm making the decisions and the choices that make it much more likely that I'm going to get out of it what I need to. One of the things that I personally love is the peace that it brings to my interactions. It's a great tool to help manage those emotions. Interactions with family and friends and bosses and clients, they can all be complex. And I have hot buttons. I have money issues. I have expectations and reactions to a myriad of things. This compass of asking, what's my intention? Because literally, I guess that's what it is. It's a compass. It helps me to take better control of my emotion and my reactions when they don't align with the outcome that we want. Try it. You may feel like you already know ahead of time because most of us do. It's like, oh, I know why I'm doing this. But as you start practicing it, you will find that there are usually a lot of other ideas with it that are mixed in. Just like what I was talking about, the money, the wanting to ski on my own, like all of this, we are complex. We are mixed in with lots of expectations and, like I said, hot buttons, all the things. So when you take the time, you take the time to work through any little resentments or past expectations or messages you might be tempted to throw in that are unhelpful, or, selfishness or whatever, money concerns, real or imagined. Lots of things are mixed up in our interactions. So take the time beforehand to get clear on your intention for that one experience. And I guarantee you every time it's going to go more smoothly. Every time I let go of things I need to let go of before I engage. Every time it helps me to get clear on how I want to approach the person or people that are involved. Whether the intention is to foster collaboration or to resolve conflict or to build a relationship or to convey information, having your intention really present, clear in your own mind aids you in structuring your thoughts, in structuring your approach. It allows you to let go of unneeded expectations, of the dirty stuff that's kind of floating around that you might react to. It allows you to be assertive where you need to and to be laid back when it really doesn't matter to your end goal. This roadmap, this compass, allows you to steer yourself, to steer conversations, to steer the interaction in the desired direction. Wayne Dyer, we all love him. He said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Now, I think this quote encapsulates the whole Love Your Story podcast, but today it's a reminder that when we stop, check in with ourselves about what we hope to create in an upcoming situation, that it changes how we approach it because we're going to see it differently. We're going to see it more clearly. It's like having a dirty window, and with this question, we wash all the dirt off the window and we can see clearly what we're trying to do. And because we can see clearly, then you will change how you interpret things. You will have a map of ideas that show you what matters most in the moment and what doesn't. People, absolutely try this. I hope that this quick chat about taking a moment to know your intention will change things for you. Again, simple but powerful. All of these quick chat ideas, they're so simple but powerful. Use it. Use it, use it, use it. Join us in 2 weeks for my interview with Sohal Cesar and the texts that remind you to think about what you're grateful for. It's going to be a really interesting conversation. And don't forget to share this episode, and share the love. So many of these quick chats have really, really powerful ideas for living life with full intention and being able to sort through things that otherwise we struggle with, we stumble on. These quick chats are great. Use them, try them. Let me know how they go for you.